Well, let's take a look at my monsters, sci-fi, horror, and also my western DVD, Blu-ray overview. Today, our friends going to be reviews. Welcome back. Okay then, so I guess we could start off basically with some of the monsters and sci-fi movies that I basically own, and a few basically, of course, horror section here, and then basically there's a few westerns which are down right here. So we'll start with basically with the monsters section. So of course we have two monster movies, not monster movies, but giant monster movies that involves basically the terrorizing base of the city. Of course we have Geezer, or Greaser, I don't know how you pronounce it, but the very well kind of zip version of Godzilla. So we have Greaser, basically, Greaser, Generation of the Universe, and Greaser 2, the Attack of the Legendary. Nice, well, basically, kind of like tip version of Godzilla, but to be fair, it does have some elements of that originally, which is pretty explanatory why many Godzilla movies out there which are just make it reversion copy of that. But it has some moments originally. And yes, this is a milk reset version, by the way, so definitely look for not for to be confused with that. Then we're going to have Godzilla faces Brazilian. I can never say it. This is This is actually the first ever based in Miramax first time Blu-ray, originally on Blu-ray. This is actually a nice transfer, originally very beautiful transfer, and it's not perfect, but it got really beautiful images originally, especially when you got Godzilla basically terrorizing base of the city and basically trying to sort of base of the Bowser. I can never pronounce originally basically the other creature's name, but the guy basically will have the shark basically teeth and very well terrorizing the city basically while Godzilla is trying to defend it and actually trying to save the day. Really nice, really monster movie. I am trying to hopefully get a couple more Godzilla movies because there are a few basically Godzilla movies on DVD nowadays, but there's actually one Godzilla that has a beautiful transfer. I actually heard for people to basically go into Blu-ray.com, and it's actually really beautiful, originally, especially with this one. So this is actually the first. This is the first time basically that this came out on Blu-ray originally. I think I can't remember if it was. Then we have, of course, and of course we got some of the sci-fi movies. But we got Independence Day, world groundbreaking movie, basically directed by what was it, Michael Bay. Yeah, I don't know. I think the only thing I find pretty obvious about this movie is I don't know, it's not directed by Michael Bay. I don't know why I said Michael Bay. I forget what the director was, Richard Barron, or something like that. But this is actually a pretty nice, pretty good flick. It has some moments of it. I mean, yeah, it's not bad. It's just that I don't know. It's just kind of like really kind of has some down moments of basically the film. I mean, yeah, you got Will Smith in it, along with basically with I don't know what they actually name, but she's gorgeous and everything else. So of course we have District 9. Well, a good movie, very nice alien sci-fi shooting up flick, very groundbreaking movie. A lot of people really talk about this movie so much, and it's actually pretty damn good. It's okay originally for the most part, but I'm just not really big on basic sci-fi movies, which when it comes basically where you're trying to build the sci-fi movies all the time. So of course we have Super 8. Super 8, not so much. It's not hardly as a sci-fi, but it does have some sci-fi originally. I mean, yeah, you do get a couple of kids doing filmmaking and stuff like that, doing a drilling classic movie. But in the beginning, well, I don't want to basically get any spoilers for whoever watched this, but it's not really a alien or basically a sci-fi movie. It's I guess it's more kind of like a like a fan film. Well, I can't say it's. I don't know if this is a fan, but kind of like a movie buff, basically low budget film that really does a drives basically for just basically been directed. But it does have some moments. It does have a moment that the boy explained that there's an alien based around to their neighborhood, which is pretty interesting, originally. But I will probably do a review, but this is about this hopefully sometime. But I cannot give you my thoughts of it. Then, of course, we have Bram Stoker's Dracula, one of all-time greatest and all-time really wonderful classic Dracula movies, and definitely Richard Worth interesting bit of basically film and very well groundbreaking. Then of course we have the Resident Evil movies. I only have just the 3 Resident Evil movies. I still kept them in a steelbook form. Let me see it. There we go. So we have Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Apocalypse, and Resident Evil 3, The Extinction. And yes, these is the steelbook editions, which I bought at Walmart years back. Very well years back, which was a long time ago. I guess about a year. Yeah, about a year. Then of course we have 2 of the Scream movies, which is pretty obvious. We have the Scream trilogy, which you get all 3 Scream movies, including you basically get the Still Screaming and Scream Insider documentaries for as a bonus. And I haven't really done a review or based about these movies, and I will sometime be doing that. And of course we have Scream 4, which everybody love and hate about it. I thought it was okay. Not really kind of checked it, but I will eventually do a review of that recently. So definitely look forward for that. Then I will probably do a review of the Hostel trilogy. I have this one. This actually is a Blu-ray Milk Creek release version. They actually released this version during time when they actually did their, I guess their movie adaptation releases originally back in the day. But we'll definitely do a review version until I basically get the DVD editions, because on these Blu-ray on the Blu-ray set you do get one featurette, which is down the bottom here. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. It actually includes basically the actual director's cut editing, which is it's not the best, but it has some moments of it. But I would definitely say that version for a review. So of course we have a very classic horror kind of slip in. I was gonna put this in the comment section, but I thought for horror it might sound pretty okay. Everybody should know this. The Ghostbuster movie! Yes, the actual Blu-ray Ghostbusters movie. I used to own the Ghostbuster 1 and 2, the double feature pack, where you get a nice digital book and everything else. But I actually saw that recently, and I actually did a review of this recently a while back. I think it was, been about a year ago, Richard visited this. And, wonderful classic 80s movie, cheese, fine. And of course, we have this god-awful god-awful horror movie starring with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg, Hood of the Horror. Not the best. I mean, I have watched just a half of it, and I was going basically to finish it, but I kind of just basically thinking, I don't know, I bought it originally for $5, which is from Walmart, and it was cheap, Richard, for that, Richard. And I was trying to check it out, Richard, but for some reason I just kind of lost the touch of it. Then we have, of course, Piranha, the actual Piranha movie from 1978, if I pronounce the name right. Yeah, 1978. This is actually the actual movie, not the remake, originally. I haven't seen the remake or any of the sequels or basically premium remake of it. But I might come around basically picking those up, Richard, just because, well, I really want to talk about this very shortly about this movie because it's almost like the tip version of Jaws, but it feels that way, Richard, but it doesn't actually feel that way at all, Richard. But I would never do a review of that, Richard, very sometime being. Then I will do another review of The Ring, which is actually most probably the scariest movie based I've ever seen. But I haven't seen it much often, Richard. I was kind of like hoping picking up the DVD version of this, and that's my phone. So if you please excuse me for just a minute, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to check out my mom versus she was going. So anyway, The Ring. What was that? Oh yes, The Ring. I was gonna watch this movie until I bought it, but never got turned around to it. But I will eventually come around to get a chance to watch it because, well, I'm very excited about this movie because I actually see this originally based in theaters originally, and I actually saw this originally, well, not actually seen theaters, but I actually saw this originally when it was actually released in theaters, and I only saw the trailer of it originally. A lot of people really find this movie very well threatened, but I'm actually kind of curious about watching this originally, so definitely will look forward to do a review of this originally very shortly, and get around to doing that. Then another movie I have been watching is 1408. Starring basically John Crumpton and John Crumpton, but you know the guy basically who did the Breakfast. No, I can't forget was basically movies playing. But we have Samuel L. Jackson in it, Richard anyway, so I remember his name of that. So I haven't seen this movie quite a while. I bought it originally through Dollar Tree, and I was actually looking forward to actually get a chance of watching it, but lost touch to it. But somehow I will get a chance to watch it. So that's that. Then we have, of course, some few basic Western movies, which I'm trying to basically hopefully try to get some a couple more Western movies. We have, of course, Hondo starring John Wayne, which is actually a nice transfer, beautiful transfer movie originally. This is actually a really well groundbreaking film originally, and I have to say the story of this of the movie is really based on the novelization. I haven't read the novelization, but definitely like to pick that up originally. But this movie actually is a beautiful story, and actually really has some really groundbreaking moments. But I will say that for the review, and that would be that. Then of course we have some Mel Creek sets of some spaghetti westerns. Yes, finally spaghetti westerns have some Blu-rays. Well, not typically, not a lot, Richard, but they do have this basically 4 amazing movies that everybody should basically know of. Of course, we have the spaghetti western double feature, which you have Last Gun and $4 of Revenge, which is actually a beautiful, nice transfer, Richard. You can still hear the pops and the crackles of the 35mm film prints, but they actually did a very well, nice, beautiful transfer of this, Richard. And I actually enjoy them really well. I actually really enjoy these sets really great, Richard, especially with the Spaghetti Western's box set of it. Then, of course, we got another one. This is actually the 2-movie feature. It doesn't call it the Spaghetti Western, just basically call it the 2-movie feature. We have, of course, the Ground Duel, aka the Big Showdown, and of course, Cantor, which is, I haven't seen that originally on basically the DVD or the Blu-ray version, but I actually watched Ground Duel version, which is actually a beautiful transfer of this movie. And then you think that Blu-ray are expensive, definitely get Mel Creek sets, because definitely worth basically picking up the spaghetti westerns or basically Blu-ray sets, because these are actually a beautiful transfers of these sets, and they couldn't be a lot more better than I thought I would imagine. So yeah, that's definitely awesome, Richard, because I really enjoy these versions, and I will acquire more spaghetti westerns DVDs along the way, Richard. Then finally, we have another spaghetti western film collection. We have The Legend West, starring Marlon Brando, Leaf Van Cleef, a few basically known to the performers, and there's one basically a 12-movie western collection, which is actually just a nice, beautiful Pretty well considering. You do get one movie that Marlon Brando is in it, Richard. He's in this movie. What was it? One Eye Jack. Right here, Richard. Pick a pretty much see right there. Yeah. He starred in this movie, only based in this one feature feature film. So definitely would worth interesting research to pick it up. So that is basically my monsters, giant monsters, destroying the city, sci-fi, horror, and of course Western movies. And this is said. Next time we'll go down to the comedy section. So till then, this is Eric Brennan. Thank you for watching, and sayonara.